90s, a time when gaming was on the brink of a revolution. It was an era when giants clashed and dreams were made. In one corner, we had the mighty Nintendo, ruling the gaming kingdom with its iconic characters and addictive gameplay. And in the other corner stood Sega, the fierce competitor, always pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo. It was a battle for the ages. But amidst this epic showdown, a new player emerged, ready to shake the very foundations of the gaming world. This was the Sega Dreamcast, a console that would redefine what it meant to be a gamer. On that fateful day, November 27, 1998, the world trembled with anticipation as the Dreamcast burst onto the scene in Japan. It was a dazzling display of power, with graphics that pushed boundaries and gameplay that ignited our imaginations. But it wasn't until September 9, 1999 that the Dreamcast arrived on North American shores, just months before the Sony PlayStation 2 was released. This was Sony's second video game console and a newcomer in the game, but it quickly became a rising star and challenged the established order. The stage was set for a battle between the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2. Join us as we journey back in time and relive the excitement that defined the gaming landscape of the late 90s and early 2000s. Dreamcast was developed by an internal Sega team led by Hideki Sato and stood as the first console of its generation, preceding the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. Sega was in financial trouble when they were getting ready to release the Dreamcast. Their CEO, Hayao Nakayama, had to step down in 1998 and was replaced by Shoichiro Irimajiri. The main reason for their financial difficulties was the poor sales of their previous consoles, the Genesis and Saturn. These consoles didn't meet the expected sales targets and caused a decline in profits for 5 years. By the end of the fiscal year on March 31, 1998, Sega suffered significant financial losses, reporting a consolidated net loss of 35.6 billion yen, equivalent to $269.8 million. Just before revealing their financial losses, Sega announced that they were discontinuing the Saturn in North America to make way for their new console. This decision left the Western market without Sega games for over a year. During this time, rumors started spreading about the Dreamcast, generating excitement among fans. To create the new console, Irimajiri sought external help and formed an 11-person team led by IBM's Tatsuo Yamamoto. They worked on a secret project codenamed Black Belt in the United States starting in 1997. Different accounts exist regarding the development of the Dreamcast hardware. One version states that both an internal team led by Hideki Sato and an external team were tasked by Sega to work on it. Another version suggests that Sato's team began their work in response to Irimajiri's decision to pursue external development. Both teams focused on creating faster and better graphic processors and chips. Sega took a different approach with the Dreamcast after experiencing setbacks with the high production costs and complex hardware of the Saturn. The Dreamcast was designed with intelligent subsystems that worked in parallel, resembling personal computers more than traditional gaming consoles. This approach helped reduce costs and allowed software development to commence before the completion of development kits. Sega informed developers that any game developed with a Pentium 2 in mind would run on the console. After nearly a year of research and development, the Dreamcast was finally unveiled on May 21, 1998 in Tokyo. This marked a turning point for Sega, as there was significant interest in the console, leading to numerous pre-orders. On the day of its launch, the stock sold out quickly, with only 4 games available, including Virtua Fighter 3, which became one of the most successful arcade games ever released by Sega in Japan. The Dreamcast quickly became a game-changer with its innovative design, impressive hardware, and wide range of games. Its popularity extended beyond North America to Europe and Australia, selling over 1 million units. So what made this console truly revolutionary? One of the standout qualities of the Dreamcast was its state-of-the-art technology. Equipped with a powerful 128-bit processor, it offered unparalleled graphics and processing capabilities for its time. This resulted in immersive and visually stunning gaming experiences that stood out in the late 1990s. The Dreamcast boasted advanced hardware, surpassing its competitors with superior graphics and sound quality. Its support for 3D graphics, accompanied by hardware acceleration, allowed for breathtaking visuals. Additionally, the console featured a dedicated sound chip that delivered high-quality audio, enhancing the overall gaming atmosphere. However, it wasn't just the hardware that set the Dreamcast apart. Sega introduced a groundbreaking peripheral called the Visual Memory Unit, or VMU. This portable memory card served a dual purpose as a secondary display and a game controller. It brought an entirely new dimension to gameplay and opened up possibilities for unique interactions between the console and players. When the Dreamcast was released, it earned a reputation for being ahead of its time in the gaming industry. It introduced unique features that set it apart from other consoles of its era. One notable feature was the inclusion of the Dream Eye, a digital camera, which was not commonly seen at the time. Additionally, players had the option to connect a keyboard to the Dreamcast, allowing communication within certain games during online play. Beyond its hardware innovations, the Dreamcast embraced internet connectivity in a groundbreaking way. It was the first console to come with a built-in 56K modem, enabling gamers to connect online and access multiplayer gaming, chat rooms, and even browse the internet. This was a huge advancement at a time when internet access was not widespread in households. The Dreamcast's pioneering approach to online gaming laid the foundation for console-based online communities, predating the emergence of Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network. Its online service, Sega Net, revolutionized how gamers interacted with each other, setting the stage for the future of online multiplayer experiences. Games like Phantasy Star Online quickly gained popularity. The Dreamcast's library of games was another testament to its excellence at the time. Its library included a diverse range of titles that appealed to a wide audience. Iconic games like Sonic Adventure, Crazy Taxi, and Shenmue demonstrated the console's capabilities and pushed the boundaries of what gamers believed was possible. However, despite its groundbreaking features and critically acclaimed games, the Dreamcast faced challenges that ultimately led to its downfall. It struggled to compete with the rapidly growing dominance of Sony's PlayStation 2, which was released just a year later. By the end of 1999, Sony already held 60% of the overall video game market share in North America with the original PlayStation. On March 2, 1999, Sony unveiled the first details of the PlayStation 2 PS2, which Ken Kutaragi, the company's CEO, claimed would revolutionize video games by conveying unprecedented emotions. Sony estimated that the PS2 could render 7.5 million to 16 million polygons per second, while independent estimates range from 3 million to 20 million. In comparison, Sega estimated that the Dreamcast could handle more than 3 million to 6 million polygons. Additionally, the PS2 would utilize the DVD-ROM format, which could store significantly more data than the Dreamcast GD-ROM. The PS2 would also be backward compatible with hundreds of popular PlayStation games. Sony's specifications for the PlayStation 2 appeared to make the Dreamcast obsolete even before its release in the United States. However, news quickly spread among the public that the PS2 was not as powerful as initially expected and posed challenges for developers. Despite exceeding 1.5 million sales in the United States by the end of 1999, the Dreamcast's popularity began to decline as early as January 2000. The poor sales in Japan contributed to Sega's consolidated net loss of 42.88 billion yen, $404 million, in the fiscal year ending March 2000, marking the company's third consecutive annual loss following a loss of 42.881 billion yen the previous year. Although Sega's overall sales for the term increased by 27.4%, and Dreamcast sales in North America and Europe greatly exceeded expectations, this coincided with a decrease in profitability due to the investments required to launch the Dreamcast in Western markets and poor software sales in Japan. Furthermore, Sega's Japanese arcade business suffered due to unfavorable market conditions, leading to the closure of 246 locations. Sega's financial troubles and a lack of support from third-party developers further compounded the console's fate. In March 2001, Sega officially discontinued the Dreamcast, marking the end of an era. The Dreamcast failure can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, consumer excitement for the PlayStation 2 PS2 overshadowed the appeal of the Dreamcast. The lack of support from key third-party developers such as EA and Squaresoft, who were popular in the US and Japan respectively, had a negative impact on the console's success. Internal disagreements among Sega's executives regarding the company's future direction did not make matters any better. Isao Okawa, the chairman of Sega at the time, lacked sufficient commitment to the product, further undermining its chances of success. In addition to this, Sega's decision to prioritize hardcore gamers over mainstream consumers proved to be a misstep. The timing of the Dreamcast release and the damage caused by the company's previous platforms, which had received poor support, affected Sega's reputation and the console's prospects. While its lifespan may have been short, the impact of the Dreamcast can still be felt in the gaming industry today. Its innovations, from online gaming to interactive peripherals, laid the groundwork for future consoles and set a new standard for what gamers could expect from their gaming experience. The Dreamcast's influence can be seen in subsequent consoles like the Xbox, which embraced online gaming and created a robust online community. Even Nintendo's Wii, with its motion controls, owes a nod to the Dreamcast's pioneering spirit of introducing innovative gameplay mechanics. Today, the Dreamcast has become a beloved cult classic, cherished by retro gamers and collectors alike. Its design, groundbreaking features, and unforgettable games have cemented its place in gaming history. That's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the captivating history of Dreamcast, the revolutionary console ahead of its time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for more fascinating stories from the world of technology.